Welcome back to our final game in the championship match between Cloud9 and TSM. TSM have chosen Red 9. C9 will be starting Ray, I believe. And it all comes down to this.
The real question is, which side does the pigeon choose?
Oh my God, it's been such an amazing series as well, because what we thought could have been a very quick 3-0 has turned into one of the most memorable series we've had yet. I hope Game 5 delivers and is close throughout.
It's pretty crazy throughout the playoffs. I mean, it's a little bit of a flashback to the CLG FlyQuest series. CLG looking incredibly game dominant in the first 2 games, then the comeback, and C9 has been looking stronger and stronger. Their last game was extremely dominating.
Yeah, and this is where experience has to come in strong for TSM. They've been here before. They've been to Worlds before. They've won and lost Game 5s of NA LCS Finals before. So, I mean, even both teams need to build on their experience of past successes and past failures to find ways to pull out the absolute best performance here in Game 5 where it matters most.
I think at least for Cloud9 coming into this final game, they have all the momentum. If their nerves were their contract, I'm sure is shaking them all off. His performances have been incredible in the last few games.
And Jensen has looked so confident, I mean, he had some swagger, right? After finally, having things go well for him in lane, he's dancing, he's taunting, and he looks super, super good when he's this confident.
Yeah, I do feel like this deciding game where both teams win will knock it over takes on a little bit of a new lever, right? Once you're down 2-0 in a series, there is an element of not being able to care anymore. Oh, we've lost anyway, let's just play it out. Maybe we can pick up a few games. But now that they're 1 game away from victory, that pressure hits you right one more time. So TSM and C9 have a big reset here.
And Ray has to come in cold again, He watched his last game. He has to come back in and have a similar level of performance that he did in the Fizz game. Hauntzer, while he has been bested the last 2 games, was incredible in the first 2 and is going to be looking to show his very best performance here in Game 5.
Well, Ray is just setting things up. Shouldn't be too long before we're into the final draft of this series. And I think draft, it's always a huge deal, and especially long series like this, because you can have so much adaptation. Ivern finally picking up a loss.
Yeah.
TSM are like, we played a lot of Ivern, we're confident in the comps, but do they even want to go back to it? Are they scared to pick it again, or are they confident in their choices?
Yeah, I also wonder if they have the confidence in Wild Turtle, because they used their first 3 picks of that last draft to build around him, put him on Lucian, and he was unable to deliver. So it was this protect the Turtle composition. The Turtle was very small in that, and, he could kind of protect himself, but they're going to lose anyway because he's a Turtle. He has no offensive abilities. So they need to reset this, maybe get him on Caitlyn Karma, something that can push the lane, just to reset in general.
And one of the things about running a protect the AD carry comp, with most of the traditional ones, such as the Kog'Maw and the Twitch that have been very popular recently, you can still sit back and scale up your AD carry, funnel all the farm into him, and you can get to the point where you will take over whether you're behind early in the game or not. Lucian does not have that luxury. If you pick the Lucian and you're running a protect Lucian type composition, you must be doing well in lane to take over these mid-game team fights and really look dominant.
Yeah, and I believe Bjergsen was 0-6 in that last game, but so much of that was because the bottom lane was roaming up towards him. And when you're looking at this series beforehand, you thought, if Smoothie and Sneaky win that bottom lane, it will leak up towards the mid lane and give him the advantage. And that's kind of exactly what we saw play out, which I think doubles down on the importance that TSM prioritize good laning for Turtle in this draft.
We do have to remember, though, and give some credit over to Turtle, that he was 1 auto away from killing Sneaky in that first blood engage. Sneaky got into the river brush. He lost vision. First blood ends up going the other way. If he gets that last auto off, they are ahead in lane. Who knows which way the game goes?
And in general, the bottom lane for TSM hasn't been the liability that people maybe thought it was going to be, particularly against the pedigree of the duo lane they're playing against. So I think the plan for TSM is always the same. Pick bottom lane, something that they can perform on, but if they just go even and hold their own, that's what they're expected to do. We look at the top side as always. Bjergsen, Svenskeren, and Hauntzer, you are the carriers of your team. You need to perform here.
Yeah, and what's so crazy about this series is it's all kind of balanced out to become even. There were smashing performances in the solo lanes in games 1 and 2, but then Jensen, Impact, Ray all had their moments to shine in games 3 and 4, so much of this has been equalized.
It really has, but the problem for TSM is that the recent performances were heavily in C9's favor. So if anyone is really affected by these games, even though it's a tied series, you have to think it's TSM.
Yeah, absolutely.
Think so as well. We're going to get ourselves into Champions League fairly soon, and draft will tell us a lot. I'm expecting comfort picks here. That is almost always what happens for players when you move into this high-pressure Game 5 situation.
Yeah, I really do expect TSM to look to get Bjergsen a very comfortable pick. Last pick him something here on red side. He is the cornerstone of this TSM team. One of, if not the best players that North America has ever had. And he needs to have the opportunity to carry, in my opinion, in Game 5.
Yeah, so many early pick mid laners in this series trying to avoid the second phase of bans. Cloud9 could almost try and force that once again early on, so you can't pick the mid laner with total knowledge of the composition. I think that'd actually be C9's best bet.
This last ban here, pretty important for TSM. Lulu and Shen both available. They go for Rengar to try to opt into perhaps a trade. Lulu has been getting first pick almost non-stop in this series, but Shen was massive last time, although it was Impact playing it.
Well, Ray's going to flash his very well-known Riven. But Rumble, Ashe, and Ivan with the bans for C9, Rengar, Graves, and LeBlanc for TSM, but first pick Lulu will hold.
Yeah, and there's still the opportunity to have a decent protection composition for Cloud9, but even though Ray has played Shen, this would be an opportunity for Hanser, instead of just going carry v carry, to go with the Shen, but they early pick a Syndra.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, Syndra has overperformed in this series for these two players. Bjergsen, it's his most played champion this season. He's an incredibly good Syndra. Spent going Lee Sin, this is what I'm saying. TSM just like, screw it, we're going back to comfort pick.
Yeah, go to comfort, put Bjergsen on one of the champions that has made him famous over the years.
Yeah.
People have been terrified of this Syndra.
TSM disappointed at Worlds last year, but the game where they beat Samsung, the second place team at the end of Worlds, was because they had the Lee Sin and Syndra and ran over the game early. So with those two picks, that's kind of telling me TSM wants to pick extremely strong lanes and try and win this game fast.
Contract's also back into a pick he's very comfy on. There's the Kha'Zix and there's Echo instantly for Jensen. Not going to get anything banned away.
Yeah, that's expected. The jungle pool was relatively pinched. Kha'Zix was the last one left, and Echo was Jensen's favorite pick into Syndra, so they wanted to get those before TSM had phase 2 of bans.
Yeah, and Jensen did not have a good performance on the Echo earlier in the series. That said, he has in general looked incredible on this pick, and you know, some uncharacteristic nerves did kind of show through for him,
Right,
but
we're going all the way in onto comfort there. That's the top half of the map for TSM already picked. If they need to perform, they have the picks to do it.
Yeah.
And remember, they have the next two bans to try to ban away whatever Ray might want.
Yeah, this is super interesting to me, though, because TSM is going 100% for comfort here. They say Syndra's the best mid laner for us, Camille's the best top laner for us, but they're leaving open Biofrost to get banned out here. And when that bottom lane cracks, it lowers Bjergsen's ability to be effective. So support bands coming through strong for C9 here.
Fizz ban for TSM, so again, picking off Ray's champions. I'm expecting a second ban through there for Cloud9. Kind of curious to see what other champion TSM targets. They are going to go top lane, and they do ban the Shen. Great recognition there from Pod.
We have to remember, though, Cannon is available. That is the matchup that Ray wanted in the first game. He did get obliterated in that matchup, but you know, may have the confidence to run it right back and just say, hey, that was my mistake. I played poorly. I can do better.
10 seconds now for Cloud9. Do they go for another support? Do they maybe go for another thing? They actually will take the Caitlyn away from Toto, so I like that choice here as well.
I like it too.
Varus is up, and that's what I'm expecting to actually come out here for Turtle. But C9 had to have known that that was what it was going to be too. You're putting him on something that he's comfortable on, but it's something that's also pretty vulnerable to the dive of Echo and Kha'Zix.
Yeah, this is very critical last few picks because TSM has already kind of shown their hand. We know their general style of composition. So now C9 have the ability to get that counter pick in the top lane. And what do they really feel confident laning here? Because they don't quite know the support. They banned away one of them. And if Sneaky feels like he can get away with Twitch, that gives them so much late game insurance.
I'm expecting something more like an Ezreal. I think that Twitch, you know, Lucian could work here too, because Twitch into something like the Camille and the Syndra and the Lee Sin is so ridiculously risky. I feel like you need a champion with a dash that is a little bit more self-sustaining.
Well, C9 run the clock all the way down, and there's the Lucian for Sneaky. I think I agree. Pretty parallel to Ezreal, so this sort of champion makes sense. It's just a matter of Ray. What does he want here for this matchup? We saw the Cannon already. He has a lot of comfort carry picks there as well. Does maybe he even say, you know what? I'm going to go to something like my Jarvan.
And remember, they do not have a tank in this composition yet. So if he does go for the Cannon, they're running a full split push type composition. You're locking yourselves into a 1-3-1. Oh, the Kled!
He has played it in the LCS. He actually beat Zig when he was playing Kled into the Jarvan, but pulling it out in this situation, high pressure. And Thresh would be the comfort pick for Biofrost with a few supports banned right now.
Thresh is one of those champions that's high risk, high reward. If you can nail those hooks in the bot lane, you can take over that lane. That said, if you miss, the range support on that Lulu is going to poke you out. It's going to get an advantage.
Goes to Nami instead. Thinks about the comfort picks, thinks about those pick champions. Instead, cooler heads prevail. TSM stick to strong top up and stable bottom half.
Yeah, both of these teams have a little bit of a split push strategy, more so for Cloud9 with the Kled and the Echo with the collapses. TSM did pick a relatively secure bottom lane with those last 2 picks. They need to just make sure that Sneaky and Smoothie don't get out of control and can start roaming, because if that happens, that's when the game breaks open for Cloud9.
And I do think that the Nami is a very intelligent pick, not only because it is relatively safe and standard as far as the laning phase, I actually think that it's a very powerful laner. With the healing, you can poke people out, you can support and disengage some of these engages that are going to be coming in as well with the tidal wave, so I think it makes a lot of sense.
And it's great to see, again, push all the way to the final game. We've got a kind of a good mix of comfort and generally well-built compositions. This is the kind of thing you expect from a final game draft.
Yeah, and I also love the way the coaches have evolved throughout this series. These drafts look wildly different than what we've seen beforehand with the Kled coming out. We already saw the Gragas coming out in Game 4. Reaper and Parth also going at it.
Well, they'll shake hands for the final time today. And at the end of this game, we'll have a NA LCS champion. Will TSM double up, or are Cloud9 going to get their first win? Remember, 3 years have passed, almost to the days.
And this is the new Cloud9. This is the team that is trying to forge their own dynasty, that is trying to set themselves apart and is 1 game away from doing so.
And a win here really would solidify Jensen in Cloud9, being able to get the title with them after High, fully moving on from all of that. They hate it when you bring up High.
Exactly.
This is Jensen C9, but until they win, that's going to keep happening.
I mean, Jensen, at least, the one thing that really lets him down as a player is the fact that he hasn't won. Bjergsen has done a lot of winning on the other side of the rift. So we'll see if Cloud9 can push it, or if TSM will defend their title. Game 5, Cloud9 versus TSM. It's been a 10-game weekend here in Vancouver, and I am so happy.
It's hard to ask for any more. And it didn't
I
look
want
like
6.
it was going to be. It didn't look like it was going to be at all. I mean,
Careful what you wish for, Chad. Sneaking in this game.
oh no, not like that. We don't want 6 like that.
Cloud9 chance coming in.
Well, you can see again, plays just spreading out. No deep woods just yet. People will likely play pretty safe in these early stages.
Now, one thing I do want to see more of from Contracts is he has played great the last 2 games, but he's not been playing heavily around top side. If we think back to the first 2 games, massive focus from Sven on the top side. Lee Sin is the champion to do it again. And if Kled gets behind, this champion becomes very worthless very fast. But it is super snowbally, so both junglers need to pay attention.
Yeah, and the early game is so pivotal here because there's a swingy top lane, but there's also a swingy mid lane. If Echo pulls ahead of Syndra, he just completely closes on him over and over again and takes the pressure away from Syndra. And TSM's got this very pick-based team. Look at that.
TSM fans were winning by about 10% before, but dead even in this final game. I mean, given how the series has played out, I think that's very fitting. Wow. The junglers will start their final pass of the NA LCS Spring 2017.
Early on in this one, both junglers with the Raptor start. There's been several miscues when trying to counter jungle early on. It's incredibly dangerous, but appealing to try it as either one of these champions in these matchups.
Little heal there, as we have seen bottom lane really just go back and forth. It's been aggressive almost every time, it feels like. Sneaky and Smoothie right now have pushed this one up. They should hit level 2 first here, and we'll see if they can maybe get something happening. Ignite for Smoothie, but Exhaust for Bifrost. So kind of a different look as Ray. Fair traps Haunter back. Hit a trade damage with Haunter. Not quite able to proc that second precision protocol. Now Ray gonna joust back in, dives in for some good damage. Haunter eating so much on that trade.
A really aggressive trading here from Ray, and one of the things that it kind of looks strange seeing these trades, one of the hallmarks of the really great Kled players is knowing when to fight until dismount. Because if you can dismount at a safe location, you can remount back up, you get that health back, and that is something that allows you to get big advantages in extended trading.
Yeah, but a little advantage can be gained right here because they just spotted Svenskeren in the bottom lane. They've already harassed Haunter low.
Could even be a dive here. Ray gonna look for it. He's got the dismount. There's the hook shot away, but there's the dive coming in. Haunter is getting a flash done. Contracts the rookie. First blood.
And they both get out using the Kled dismount perfectly. The all-important top lane goes the way of C9.
And it was a team play as well because they never would have felt safe going for that gank if they had not seen Svenskeren down on the bottom side.
And it's that push from the bot lane that gave them that edge. So C9 working well across the map, and Contracts off to his third good start in a row.
Haunter waiting now, did instantly teleport back to lane. We'll watch this dive again, just so well executed by Cloud9.
Landing the bear trap on a rope pulls Haunter back in when he's trying to hook shot away, and then they're also able to utilize that dismount.
Yeah, that dismount means you lose that turret aggro. You're safe to go for these crazy aggressive dives like that.
What is interesting to note about that kill, though, is since it went over to Contracts, while the wave was in an advantageous position for Haunter, when Haunter got back into that lane after his quick teleport, he did pick up a large percentage of that CS. So yes, the first blood gold goes to C9, but it doesn't immediately put Ray ahead in that lane.
No, just a second Doran's there for Ray, which will be good if he wants to play aggressively. But Jensen, you can see, roaming down, trying to get some wards happening. Bjergsen, a CS lead right now, but it's been pretty quiet in the mid lane here. So we return back to one of our more aggressive lanes. Oh, flashball from Smoothie, real aggressive actually. Turtle gonna live through this one at least for now.
Yeah, that's flash down, exhaust down. Smoothie will be susceptible, but if Turtle steps too far forward, Sneaky has both his summoners, and they're looking to try to counter dive here to stop Ray from being able to collect all this farm under turret.
Yeah, we saw yesterday, though, the risk of diving a Kled while he's still mounted. Very close to dismounting, but he will get that frame of untargetability, and Svenskeren calls it off.
Smart for them to call it off, but tragic for the potential dive. Here's Svenskeren them into the mid lane onto Jensen, does land it in. Jensen blasted out of the wave, and Bjergsen gets a kill for himself.
Jensen has no idea where the jungler is, goes aggressive onto Bjergsen, baited in, and Bjergsen on low mana uses his last spell to secure that kill.
These are the moments that make or break champions, and Jensen goes for a big play right here. It looked like he had a great spot with parallel convergence, but he's doing it blind. Hugely risky play. Bjergsen jukes back in towards the lane. Jensen was going to the parallel convergence regardless. That's when Svenskeren gets him with the Sonic Wave.
And Jensen did also not even step into that parallel convergence for the shield before trying to retreat, which may have given him enough health to actually get out of there.
Those reactions are
That's insane.
sick from Ray. Haunter camping a brush, but Ray instantly gets himself out. I mean, if there's one thing I do know about Ray, he's mechanically very, very good.
Exactly. Has been camped at the #1 spot in NA Challenger pretty much the entirety of this year. It's his team play that needs to come in. So those little moves in lane could be why we're seeing Ray on these carry champions.
Haunter are making a smart move, setting up the wave so that it would kind of slow freeze against him. That forces Ray to TP back and push this out.
He's going to do so, gets himself some boots, a pot, and a ruby crystal, so no huge combat advantage right now.
Yeah, pay attention to that when Haunter hits level 6, though, since his teleport's going to be coming off cooldown. It's a difficult spot in the lane right now for Haunter because he's just got the 1 Dorans and the refillable potion. But if he can keep this wave somewhat split, and he can hit level 6 with decent health and get a recall timing in, that's the opportunity for TSM to pull off a play with the teleport advantage.
A good little bear trap for Harass. Jensen getting aggressed on again. Bjergsen just combos him down. Thunderlord's procs. Jensen, no MR right now. Didn't have a whole lot of money to spend, so just the Dark Seal, a Corrupting Potion, and that Doran's is pretty safe for early itemization, but Bjergsen's already got his last chapter.
Spotting Contracts out here pretty big. Sven is already on the top side and has the level advantage. Level 6 Lee Sin going to be very powerful, and we'll know where Contracts is at.
Well, it's a 6 as well, but no TP, so if he does want to go for something in this top lane, Haunter doesn't have a lot of items to play with. The Contracts in the area are going to hit 6, not quite just yet.
Yeah, Haunter's sitting on 1,300 gold. Really just wants to stay in lane as long as possible before recalling and having the option of setting up that teleport play. That Svenskeren, I feel like, has been pretty smart sticking around this side of the jungle for here.
And again, if we pop back down the bottom
Ray's
lane.
looking for a roam. They're going to go for Bjergsen with the ult, I think.
Onto Bjerg. Jensen gets stunned though, can't quite time it. Ulti up from Syndra. Kled in as well, but now Sneaky's also coming. Everyone trying to take down Bjergsen. Ray wants to get the kill. Flashes forward, looks for the bear trap, lands it, and there's the dive from Ray.
The roam from C9, bot lane and top lane, investing in Jensen, giving that faith over to him that he can carry with the help.
Close to a 5-man gank onto Bjergsen. This time Jensen does ult back before he would fall to Syndra. The push advantage that Ray had in the top lane as Haunter was trying to stick around with just a Dorans before stopping is cashed in right here with the gank.
And just look at how well they all work together. Sneaky tanking up the turret for Ray so Ray can commit to this play. It's a big commitment, but they needed to keep Jensen relative in this matchup. He can't afford to fall too far behind.
And it does feel like Kled's propensity and power in tower dives, very nice addition for this team at this stage. I mean, that's twice now that TSM's carries have been dove by Ray. The first at level 3, and now once he has the ultimate. If that was part of the plan for Cloud9, it's working real well so far.
And also, you look at TSM when they're going with the Syndra and the Lee Sin, they're looking to try and get that early game push on pretty much every lane. So when they're getting dove in 2 of their lanes, that's trouble.
The C9 bot lane really does deserve so much credit. They get the ward on Sven, which allows the dive top. Then they have the push bottom, which allows the roam mid, and Sneaky to contribute to that kill there. So both of the kills have been contributed to massively from the C9 bot lane and their excellent play.
Summonerless Bjergsen also seems like a pretty good target for a revisit. Haunter does have his and the TP back, and also went back to spend that money. So Ruby Crystal, Ninja Tabai getting those early defenses up in the lane. But it really has been that bottom lane. Despite the fact that CS does look even in the wave, is now pushing back to C9. C9 spent so much time pushing that wave up, which has opened up that last exchange in mid. So things looking good so far. Cloud9 up 2 kills and about 400 gold, but as close as we'd expect in the first 10 minutes of this game.
This is one thing that TSM can look to get as an edge for them. They have TP advantage on Haunter right now, so they could try to force around this dragon and grab that objectives.
Yeah, and if they wanted the right type of play, they needed deep ward, which they actually just got behind the Drake pit. So if C9 do continue to push up this lane, Haunter would have an opportunity to try and teleport. That could have been it, but he's engaged in combat with Ray up top.
Yep, just kind of fighting him there. Ray can cancel that relatively well. Haunter, they're going to back in a brush. This is the setup for TSM. Blue buff also over to Bjergsen. If they want to try and take the Drake, pretty good window to do.
Yeah, question mark ping from Ray. He says Haunter is missing. C9 should know that Haunter would have his teleport. Ray can match it soon, but it's still on cooldown.
And that's why Contracts has been hanging around the bot side, trying to cover that C9 push in. But now Sven Skaren is here. The ward is available. They could look to pull off the play.
Ooh, barely missing for
that
Wild
would have been the
Turtle.
trigger. That would have been the go button.
And the type of communication that C9 are doing right now, being able to have the people in the right spot when TSM is looking to make a play, are the little things that can win them a championship. Keeping this push in the bottom lane, waiting until Ray's teleport back up, put them back in a power position in this game.
Haunter again getting aggressed on by Ray. This wave's pushing up is really nice because, again, Haunter, if he does want to use that TP, or did want to before, Ray made sure he was pressuring enough that couldn't really happen. Sneaky, though, going to get out from under that bubble, dashes out from under Bifrost Q. Again, the bot lane is still playing aggressively, and Blade of the Ruin Kings will be up relatively shortly. Sven always spotted Gray, but Ray again dashes
Contracts is
out.
coming up.
Now getting stunned, the ultimatum should be there soon. He's going to try and get out. Can't get out with the ultimate now as Haunter
Contracts is
finally
here.
knocks him down, but here comes Contract. Leaps into the arena to try and fight, but Sven Skaren kicks Ray in. Ward hops in. He's going to get the kill down, and there's the ulti. Haunter barely gets over the top. Get the second kill on Contracts.
Sven Skaren landed his Sonic Wave, waited for the dismount, then took the resonating strike over the wall. So much patience in those incredibly tight situations net them 2 kills.
And Bjergsen faster on the roam there than Jensen. Jensen could not get up to help out in that play. That was a big one for TSM.
And you can see just how close this game is. Now TSM are the ones with the gold lead, but it still sits under 1,000. Sven Skaren committed a lot here, but TSM played this very well.
And these are tough games to pull off because Ray is the one who's ahead in this lane. So they trap him in the Hextech ultimatum, and Contracts jumps in but can't get the isolation. But Ray flies over the wall right there thanks to Sven Skaren kick, and it allows the rest of TSM to clean up the scraps.
And if Bjergsen couldn't have gotten there, Contracts may have been able to actually win out on that fight. The ultimate from Syndra did almost all of his health, and that has Haunter right back to even. Bjergsen stronger again, and TSM out to a slight lead.
I mean, look at the gold. Pretty much no difference in the top lane. Bjergsen, though, 500 gold. Even with that 5-man dive that did in the mid lane, doesn't really bring Jensen back in because he didn't pick up that kill. Still going to be Bjergsen trying to control this game with his Syndra roam and TSM's vision control.
These mid laners do have their first items now finished. Morellonomicon jump for Bjergsen. Got an extra amp tome now as well. Goes back to control it. And Jensen now with that protobot and his teleport. He's not quite there yet, but at some point in the next 5-10 minutes, he will be able to move out and start to apply pressure in other lanes.
You definitely can, and despite the success of C9's bot lane, it has not resulted in a massive lead for them. It was investments in helping out the rest of the map. So if the rest of the map cannot convert on that, then they're not really that far ahead in bot lane. Both of these guys are sitting on completed Blade of the Ruin King and are at similar levels of power, despite the CS advantage.
You can see that gold difference, not much at all, about 400 or so as Sven and Bjergsen now teaming up together to roam around this blue buff that's about to spawn. Be able to take this one away. Syndra's pretty good at stealing these.
And this has been a consistent trend throughout the series. TSM has almost had Jensen's blue buff the whole time, and they do it once again with an invade.
Tough stuff as well. Jensen is going to get this lane shoved in, but now knows that his blue buff has been taken away. Not a whole lot he could do, unfortunately, for him. Now going to clean that wave out.
It does make them ping towards the Ocean Drake right now. They do have the Calyx who could take it, and they know that Svenskeren had invested something in the blue buff.
Turtle.
Turtle going to get left on here. Does have his summoners, but has to play it well. Thunderlords will proc contracts. Good chunk damage, but Turtle holds onto his spells.
That might be enough for them to try to go over to that dragon, but Nami is healing Turtle back up, and that chunk means much less because you have that healing support.
Yeah, Blade of the Ruined King as well, able to lifesteal up whenever he auto-attacks. Full health already. You can see the Nami pick coming in big right here to neutralize that lane. And make sure it doesn't go too wrong.
And I think that was the only thing TSM really wanted here is just...
Oh, they're looking for the fight.
Svenskeren already there. Smoothie caught out by the ultimate. Bubble's going to follow. Bjergsen deletes the Lulu.
Again, Bjergsen on the roam from the mid lane. Jensen following far behind. TSM look to go for Ocean Drake.
Ocean Drake getting low. Sven does have his smite and contract is recalling, so they're giving this one up by the looks of things. TSM play it safe and take the Drake.
Yeah, for the third time in this series, Syndra is getting rolling. You know, this Syndra is picking up kills and getting very, very strong. They're looking to try to dive Sneaky.
Oh, exhaust down. Svenskeren kicks Sneaky back in. There should be a kill. The flash. Not quite enough. Turtle flashes in. Needs another auto. There it is. But Jensen down towards the lane. Gets one onto Svenskeren. Now Turtle going to get chased away.
Flash.
How much can he get?
There's the wave. Might be enough to just disengage it. Bjergsen coming down as well. But here comes Contracts to meet Wild. Turtle isolated and taken
TP
down.
from Glad, they want more. Bjergsen was coming down. We'll see if they can catch him.
Haunter doesn't cancel. Raise here. There's the ulti out as Bjergsen does have his flash. Won't use it just yet. Has to wait out the bear trap, but the damage still being dealt by Claire. Bjergsen finally going to try and turn around. Gets out front of Contract. Flashes in to get the rest of the kill.
Contract survived.
Healing not enough. Contract somehow lives. Haunter in late and TSM lose out on the trade.
What an incredible series of skirmishes across the map. Both teams committing, and Jensen looking for more.
And after all that chaos, this game is deadlocked. 5 kills to 5. No one's taken down a turret. 15 minutes in, the closest game we've had yet.
I mean, certainly expect it to be here, but let's watch this crazy series of events again.
And think, with the way this play transpired afterwards, every little thing matters. So flashing out that bubble, delaying the kill, making Turtle burn a seal for the turret dive, buys time for Jensen to teleport in behind them.
And that TP was so big. The early force on the flash from Turtle in the previous engage means Contracts can come in and get another kill. And with Turtle down, it gives Ray the confidence to commit.
And the continuation, Haunter was recalling on Camille as Ray teleports in behind, and he knows he can go with Kled. Bjergsen does have flash, but he needs to wait it out, otherwise Kled would follow. Bear trap on a rope, gets him. He flashes a little bit late, and Contracts gets the kill.
And that's pretty much what that looked like.
Turtle may go
Turtle's
down.
in trouble. Sneaky looking to dive it in. Flashes out. Svenskeren here. Just in case they want to dive.
Both of them within a hair's breadth of going down, and Contracts moving down. This 3-kill Kha'Zix could be looking to set up a dive.
They have no teleports, though. They expended their double TP on the final play, so Contracts and Smoothie would be going it alone.
That, though, pushes them off. They're working on mid lane turret. They're pushing off the bot lane onto that second turret, and Ray's behind Bjergsen. Doesn't have ultimate available yet, though.
Does the kick back in. Bjergsen going to try and combo this down. There's the ultimate out from Jensen. He probed about to get a bit of safe defend, though. He's going to go down
with the
Jensen
turnaround
on the back end of the timeline. Haunter here. Looking to go down to Ray. Ray looks for the bear trap. Doesn't get it. Smoothie does to Bjergsen on the bottom end of the turret side. And that Contract leaps in. Takes down Camille. Bjergsen looking to make it happen. Takes out Contract. It's Sneaky. They're going to get aggressed on as well. Slowed down by the hail of arrows from Wild Turtle. Play to the Ruined King down Sneaky.
Sneaky's in!
Does get the goal in the Bifrost. Still fighting there on the Turtle, but does not get it.
Jensen still going. They're throwing haymakers at each other.
All right, Jensen going to run and see who he can find. He will dive, I think, if he gets an opportunity. Ult not up, but I don't think he cares. Turtle right behind the turret. Jensen flashes past the turret. Wants to chase down Turtle.
He wants to execute.
Turtle's running to the wrong side of the map. Jensen going to try and get this one, but I think Turtle's okay. Needs a little more proto belt. Tagged him on the very end.
This game is insane right now. Game 5 of the finals. Both teams holding nothing back.
So many times in Game 5, teams go passive. That is the exact opposite of what's happening right now.
And look at Smoothie on the roam again. This bot lane from Sinai moving up, saving Jensen and starting the fight off right.
And then it continues right there. Bjergsen gets the kill on a Smoothie, but everyone sees a play they want to go for. Haunter had just juked Bear Trap on a rope to set that up. So Contracts goes in with the flash, but Bjergsen then lands the majority of his skill shots to finish off Contracts.
And then Sneaky in a 1v2 on the bot side. So well played. Seeing the opportunity on the Biofrost, not only trades the kill, but sets up the eventual chase down from Jensen.
And it's so fun to see because we've seen 4 games now where both teams were just making plays, and it just felt like one or the other were losing out on these exchanges. Instead, we have a lot of equivalent exchanges, and every team is executing on these plays. It's chaotic, it's fast, but this is such a great Game 5 already. We're not even 20 minutes in yet.
Exactly.
Getting up on Ray, though.
Well, Total also getting bullied a bit by Sneaky. Good calling. There's the dive in onto Ray. Ultimatum issue by Haunter. Sven here as well. Kicked off already. Great combination. Ray goes down.
Everyone in this game is trying to set up the next play, which is leaving them vulnerable to defending the play. All of these things are being set up and executed. C9 make a play bottom, while TSM make a play top.
Yeah, and they do get the turret on the bot side. That's the second one. 4C9, they're looking to try to set up on Bjergsen, but Bjergsen is playing very carefully around this mid lane, knowing that his jungler is topside, and that this Kha'Zix is very strong with 4 early kills.
Yeah, and the team that can kind of catch their breath first and counter the first play that the opponent makes may be the ones that come out on top here. It's only a 1,500 gold lead for C9 right now. They have the 1-3-1 and their double teleport right up, so that means they also have the tempo advantage right here. They just need to continue to be willing to pull the trigger on these plays and make sure they're doing it right, because TSM do have tools to turn things around.
Well, we're going to get some breathing room. Drake up in 50 seconds. The people do need to go back and at least spend their gold, but all this fighting means that these players are super powered at this stage. I mean, 2 items for pretty much both these mid laners. Everyone's getting strong in the carry positions. Like, this next fight's going to be a bloody one.
It really is, but the one thing going for C9 we haven't really seen pan out is they have now got the items that they need to start split pushing. Jensen has that Lich Bane and his Proto Belt. He can move to a side lane and start to threaten those turrets.
Yeah, and if they did want to go for a Cloud Drake, I think they have the item power spikes over top of TSM right now. Lich Bane Proto Belt, I feel like, is exactly what the Echo wants, and there's no Trinity Force as of yet for Haunter.
Well, big party brewing in the top lane. Almost everyone is up around the area. I think Sven just checked Baron, just in case.
You never know.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to lose Game 5, a 20-minute Baron rush, so playing it safe.
You can see the pressure though that Jensen's still applying to that mid lane, sticking around, threatening Bjergsen for the most part, but he'll leave at some point soon. If these turrets get some free time, Jensen will destroy them.
And Sven has been spotted out. C9 has good vision on TSM's blue side jungle. They have established control fully around there. If TSM are to come in for this fight, C9 will have full vision.
Drake time now for C9 actually, as they'll start their first Drake of this game. Lost the first Ocean to Cloud9, but the logo Drake might be secured over. I think the teams are going to want to fight for it. Haunter already scuffling with Ray.
Everyone's coming over.
There's the bear trap as well. Tidal wave in. Invulnerability not quite enough. And there's Kled now going to roll in. Who's he got? Oh, the blast got still followed. Now Ray moving in, and Smoothie flashes forward. Turtle getting low from the calling on Bjergsen. Ulti's one down, but
Ray's in!
Kill Ray. Diving so far deep. Flashes out of the last few seconds, and now Jensen's back in on a rampage. Takes down the Nami.
Ray is really putting his stamp on this Game 5, catches Haunter while the rest of his team is doing Cloud Drake, and then all of C9 follow in for another kill.
2 kills, and the Dragon and Sneaky barely able to survive thanks to the extra HP from that back cleaver. Almost went down to Bjergsen's ultimate.
I mean, Ray is an aggressively minded player, but this is all the way up for this final game. Again, you expect teams and players to play much more conservatively in this sort of situation, but Ray especially, he's just going at every opportunity he gets.
Sitting on a control ward, waits for Haunter to come in as the Kha'Zix and Lucian are doing the Cloud Drake, lands all of his bear traps on a rope, obliterates Haunter.
And again, Smoothie faster on the rope, catches up. This gives them the confidence to go in. Now, track Sneaky's health as he gets stunned here, barely surviving the ultimate combo here from Bjergsen.
So close, and that Blade of the Rune King active, or any little thing along the way could have changed the outcome of that fight.
Well, Jensen also diving in. So Ray and Jensen with the double teleports are great dive buddies as well. Good to see Cloud9 using almost all elements of their composition. And again, if Jensen gets too far ahead, he's just sitting in a side lane. Ray will go in his, and TSM will struggle so much to get map control.
And just as far as backline protection for Turtle, this is not like a multiple shielding comp. If the Echo full AP gets on your AD carry, he dies.
They're at it again. Spenskaren also down with Ray. Should be able to kick him out of the situation. Haunter getting the stun. Spen gets another kill. But Baron for Cloud9.
Oh, this is risky. TSM
So risky.
is going to be here, but the smite will not.
They've spotted them. They instantly disengage. C9, nice threaten.
Yeah, and this just keeps the game close. Even though Ray is making a lot of plays, he's getting killed fairly often whenever Haunter and Spenskaren go down to do something.
Svenskaren really is working so much better, it feels like, with his top laner, always playing around him, trying to get him ahead. And TSM is not only going to get the mid lane turret, they're going to get the bot lane turret perhaps as well here from Haunter, and really getting some edges because of the focus that Svenskaren is putting on.
And if it wasn't open enough, with 3 outer turrets on both sides, The game is now completely wide open. High is ready for the reverse sweep, and this game is far from over. Only 1,000 gold separating these teams.
Well, TSM with that nice little macro play around the turrets, equalized the turret score as well. Gold pretty much set back to even. C9, 1,000 gold up, but that is nothing in this game.
These mid-game items for C9 are also going to be very strong. A lot of these champions are super powerful around 2 items. Building Black Cleaver, you can complete it relatively early on, and we have the Black Cleaver, or Blade of the Rune King combo for Lucian. Black Cleaver done for the jungler and the top laner. All these guys are going to be very powerful in skirmishes.
Yeah, and if you look at the way TSM also want to pick up plays, it's actually very difficult for a team composition to play against as Bjergsen's Cinder right here, because everyone on C9 is so mobile and he needs to be able to land the skill shot stun to get anything going. So that requires a lot of vision control and a lot of setup, which C9 doesn't want them to have as they're really chaotically playing this 1-3-1.
Plus there's just so many threats. I mean, there's 4 guys who could take down Bjergsen if he goes in the wrong spot.
Jensen's not here as well. Ray actually going to chase him down. Haunted just can't really
Sven.
get away, but Sven's here. Jensen are also in the situation as Ray is just going to get aggressed on. Jensen backing onto Sven. Big burst damage. Now Bjergsen's coming in. Sven is going to follow up with the Q at the last second. Safeguards back to Bjerg to be saved.
Jensen burned his ultimate there a little bit preemptively, so a minor miscue. Looked like he might have been able to turn something around, but a very nice timing on Haunter's Hextech ultimatum.
Yeah, it seemed like just a misplay. He could have actually, like, I don't know if he thought his shadow had already caught up, but he ulted right out of the fight as soon as he got there, and I think that for sure would have been at least 1 kill.
Well, instead, everyone make sure they get there to the rotation, and everyone will keep their respective members alive. TP's up the Cloud9 now. TSM's turn to move themselves around the Baron area and at least secure vision. Do they dare do anything else crazy? Not yet, but with the pace of this game already, it does feel like teams are going to try and break it open as fast and as soon as possible.
For TSM, they really are starting to establish the hedge in the side lane, though. Haunter has the experience advantage. He's up a lot in farm, and he is going to be super hard for Ray to match up with. You know, Ray constantly getting picked on. He can't fall out of relevance of this split push, or it's going to be trouble for C9.
Yeah, the Camille is turning on a little bit. Yes, Ray's been able to pick him out and get a lot of assists, but the farm advantage is in Haunter's side. Sven Skaren has helped him out enough that TSM's trying to regain control of this game by getting Haunter stronger. If Haunter wins that 1v1 solidly against Ray, it really limits the amount of moves that C9 can make with a 1-3-1.
And it's just back to the scene of the crime again. Sven Skaren spotted bot side. They can see him moving up now. They were looking for another pick on Ray, which was avoided this time, but Haunter's up 2 levels at this point because of this. He's having to get pushed off the waves constantly, and I think Sven Skaren is playing the mid game super smart.
And it's been great to see the 2 top laners do different things for their team. Haunter says he wants to be a big carry for his team, has proven it, especially on Camille, time and time again, whereas Ray, that big carry player, is actually playing more to help his team, to dive, to get the solo lanes ahead. And it's just created such a tight, exciting game, though it's still very far from done.
Yeah, and it has definitely slowed down in the last 5 or 6 minutes, but both teams have been very willing to go for a play. Everyone wants to have that moment where they're the ones that make their teams the champions. They just need to make sure they're avoiding those moments that lose the game. I'm sure Jensen remembers Game 4 of the finals in the summer split where he flashed forward on Talia, missed his spells on a doublet, and got turned around where TSM won Game 4. You remember those things, but you also remember the successes, which is what they're going for this game.
And as you get to the later stages of the game, you know that each mistake means that much more. Baron is on the table. Whoever makes that next mistake may cost them the Baron and perhaps the game off that.
Certainly no real big advantage has been gotten yet by either team, so something like a Baron is kind of the obvious thing to break the game open. I mean, Cloud Drake is up and no one cares by the looks of things. So Jensen diving back in onto Sven. Now Ray in there.
Ray's in.
Tags Bifrost. Good ult from Turtle. Gets all 5 members. Kick back from Sven as that's Haunter diving in onto Sneaky. Ult not enough as Jensen gets out from under the ultimatum. Absolute chaos. Redemption resets the Cloud9. Still going forward.
Jensen gets the
stun there. Haunter. He's going to go down there to Ray. Sven pulling him off up. C9 still going hard, but TSM looking to turn it back around.
That bubble from Biofrost hit 3 men, saving the fight for TSM. Many more could have died for them had he not had such a good play.
And these fights are so fast. Everyone just seems to be flying around, and that makes it that much more difficult to land the skill shots. The bubble by Biofrost, incredibly clutch, but Jensen has to be so careful to ult back at just the right time if he gets hit by any stun or wound. He's not able to do that. Let's watch this again.
And you can track Sneaky again. Bjergsen always looking to get him. He gets tagged by that Varus ultimate. The Cinder ultimate comes in. That pushes Sneaky out of the fight.
Even the Lulu ultimate on a Sneaky right there prevented Haunter from connecting that hook shot. Jensen does barely land the edge of the stun onto Haunter, and a triple bubble greatly delayed the kill there for Cloud9.
Yeah, and I think Sven or more could have gone down as well on top of that, because that was 3 big-time damage dealers locked up by Biofrost.
Great, Sonya's on the back end that I just spotted by Jensen as well. So he's actually up and running as far as items go. Bjergsen's still working on, looks like a Ludens, but this Echo's starting to cause some real chaos. Level 16 already, and Jensen, to his credit, is sticking with his team and just going straight for TSM.
And he has 10 stacks on his Dark Seal. He could go for a Mage Eyes here if he actually had the confidence to do it. I mean, that would be a bit of a risky buy, but maybe Game 5 is the time to do it.
Yeah, a bunch of squishy people that he can go for on TSM. Triple Ninja Toppy being built by TSM doesn't help them against the Echo Burst.
If he lands 1 parallel convergence on Bjergsen or Turtle, they should die in 1 combo.
Well, Haunter again still building up. See where he goes with this next item. Randuin's is on the way, but I wonder if he maybe thinks about some MR now because Jensen is doing so well. There's a Null Magic Mantle, so a start of that piece, and once again we return to the Baron dance.
Yeah, I don't expect him to get any more MR than what he gets from a GA. I think that you can't afford to itemize towards Jensen because Jensen is likely targeting other players, and he needs to be able to survive through so much physical damage and stay relevant in the split push against Fight.
Triple Black Cleaver, though, going to help things out. Looks like Sneaky actually has 3 items up already, so Haunter's going to have to stack a lot of health and armor to get through it all.
This vision is getting a little bit troubling for TSM as C9 has been controlling this Baron area for quite some time, and as they push the vision forward and forward and forward, and 1 pick can mean Baron and can mean the game.
Yeah, and the advantages are just so slim. Almost all the roles are matching each other in gold right now. So much of it is in control wards and picks, and again, Ray looking to start something.
There's an ulti, but it's not quite
Turtle
getting enough. Oh, good kick from Sven, disengages it all. Jensen actually gets caught. Oh no, not gonna go down. Chrono breaks out there as now Sven has to run from the rest of the team.
TP from Haunter at the backside.
Huge flank there as TSM could turn this one around. Haunter is gonna commit it. He's on into Smoothie, but he's got polymorphed up already. Ray does go down to Bjergsen, 5v4 for TSM, but not a lot of health left on a few of them.
Bjergsen catches Ray at the very tail end of that one, and once again, these fights continue to just seem to break out of nowhere, and everyone piles in for them.
Yeah, Sven actually went behind Turtle, making the Kled ultimate connect on his AD carry, and thankfully Turtle did have flash, or he would have gone down immediately.
Watching this one more time, Ray always willing to go in. As you mentioned, gets it onto Wild Turtle, and here when they get the kick onto Jensen, as well as locking with the Cinder Stun, about a quarter second from dying there before Lulu ult buys him enough time to chrono break backwards.
And one of the most impressive things about some of these team fighting for me is how fast he is, not only with ultimates, but with the redemption coming and healing the back up. And TSM gets the 1 kill, but Sneaky was winning on that bottom side duel. Does end up pushing him back.
And we did see in that fight, Ray had mainly itemized for dueling against Haunter with the Ravenous Hydra, Black Cleaver, and Ninja Tabi. Didn't really have magic resistance, so Bjergsen's ultimate did a truckload of damage. Now he's building towards a Guardian Angel.
And if this Baron has been the really big point of contention, Haunter with that TP and TSM not winning a decisive fight means that 2 teleports available for Cloud9. Yes, Jensen has been sticking with his team, but Ray can now split push.
So if Ray can actually shove this wave in, C9 will establish vision control around the Baron. They can look to TP and fight. Svenskeren must now either collapse, immediately get a kill, then get back to the Baron, or they need to try to contest in a 4v5 manner.
And man, this game keeps getting closer. 600 gold now at 32 minutes, only 1 kill different. Turret still the same.
Raptors getting fought over. Sven gets, I think, the bulk of them. Contract's going to eat the honey fruit. And again, Cloud9 just Spore strong towards this top half of the map around that Baron. Ray has been so good at not getting himself caught out. And now with the GA, an even better threat, either in the silent if someone helps or in a team fight.
I think the GA is going to be the trigger for C9. I'm expecting Ray to push up bot side. C9 plays safe until he does. Once he does, look for him to make a TP play with this Guardian Angel and try to force a 5v4 fight.
Yeah, and then TSM is doing so much to try and counter this engage. They have the Nami wave and Bjergsen's knockback, as well as Svenskeren's knockback. Then they're hoping that they can get the Wild Turtle ultimate onto the rest of C9 and probably focus Ray while he's in there. So while the Guardian Angel is up, that buys them a lot of time. That hurts.
And alternatively, TSM can just try to force the Baron and get the TP out of Ray to deal with it that way. A lot of decision trees here, and these guys have to make sure that they're making the right one.
TSM classically very good at making map-oriented decisions, but Cloud9 have shown, particularly this season, that they have just risen and risen in power as a team. Their teamwork's great, their individual talent is pretty staggering, and they've definitely cleaned up a lot of that map movement. And again, they've had control of this Baron for like 10 minutes at least, and TSM are just constantly reacting. Yes, they're getting themselves into a decent spot. Nobody wants to make a mistake at this point, and now Jensen getting a kick back by Sven. Cronenberg going to get him out, and he almost turns it back around.
And they're starting Baron off that. Sven's Garrett got chunked out. They're already on the Baron. Do they have the confidence to go for the 50-50 with the rookie jungler?
TSM going to go in for it there. Big stun onto Smoothie. Haunter going to get caught in the front, but Ray's kind of trapped in the ultimatum redemption. He's going to try and reset, and Cloud9 might want a team fight. Ray gets low, but
He's back in!
Jensen on the back line. Jensen trying to make the play, gets exhausted there by Biofrost, and now Ray is a little too low. Damage is there, just enough for Bjerg to kill Ray.
Ray goes back in with the blast cone and pays the price. Jensen also had no ultimate before that fight started, so C9 were trying to force something but pressed a little bit too hard.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he meant to go back in with that blast cone. That looked pretty strange. He wasn't mounted, and now TSM will force that Baron. C9 must contest.
Round two, Jensen's ultimate's up.
Contract's not a lot of mana, but he does have his smite. They're going to try and force the fight instead. Smoothie, chunk low, but Jensen, oh, this could be juicy. No, he gets stunned instead. They need to kill him very quickly, but the Cronenberg's enough. Haunter a little too low, and so much damage from this Echo.
Yeah, Bjergsen does not have ultimate, but will soon, and C9 don't have that exact timer, so you have to play so carefully around it. They have staved off Baron successfully, though. The game stays even.
Exactly. Ray has teleport, and this actually gives Cloud9 a chance to take a bit of an advantage. They know everyone on TSM is recalling, so Sneaky has free time with this turret.
Gonna get it by the looks of things. No one here from TSM to answer. Sneaky able to get his team the turret lead for the first time in like 15 minutes or so. C9 not rushing straight to the Baron, but at least getting control back in the area.
And what a series we have been treated with
this
today.
Game 5 is absolutely insane. You think about the way the first 4 games went, nothing has been close to this as far as equality, and this is the Baron once again.
Yeah, so C9 turned for that fight. It's a good start onto Haunter, but he's able to drop that ultimatum back out, and Ray, you know, he's getting focused by everyone while they're still zoning pressure, and I think that was accidental.
Gotta be a mistake.
Yeah.
Just right-clicking around your character trying to move, and he hits that blast cone. And if we weren't close enough, we're now 2 Drakes to 2.
Yep, Mountain Drake for TSM will help them, particularly around the Baron, but not a huge amount of help. Able to take it, though, with Baron still being on the table, so TSM smart to roam down and get that objective. And I mean, just looking down at these inventories, everyone is so highly powered right now.
Yeah, and I'm wondering when we're actually going to get another split push pick, because these are 1-3-1 compositions, yet we keep crashing in for team fights. So this is why Haunter and Ray, with their teleports, are trying to reset this game to what they expected it to be from the draft phase.
And these two teams have so much offensive power. They're starting up the Baron again. TP's available for Ray, back. So is it for Haunter.
No, Toto had to complete a recall.
was in base. This could just be C9 going for it.
Sven's Garen, does he have to make another big steal again?
Sven could steal it. C9, they back off.
Wow. Haunter did TP in.
Oh, might get caught here.
Oh, he's so
a little
split.
while longer. Straight in the middle of 4 members of C9. Does go down to Jensen.
Such a good peel off right there for the teleport. I thought they'd be willing to go for a 50-50, but that is much better. Now they want to fight while TSM waits for Baron steal.
A trap. Ray gets out from under the stun of Syndra. Cloud9 playing it patient.
And look, now they just start up the split push as Haunter, the split pusher for TSM, is down. Jensen is already pushing the top side. They could look to collapse in or just shove the side lanes.
Mid right now for the rest of C9. Jensen in our top lane threatening a turret turtle. I don't know if he's safe under this turret versus Jensen. He has 4 damage items already.
Haunter's still dead without teleport. TSM being out this far is incredibly dangerous, but they do not want to cede control because that exposes Baron for C9.
C9 running all the way back again, just feinting back and forth, and
oh, they're going to start it up.
Back to Baron. Jensen can get over the wall with a phase dive. Contract's here.
I think they want to get the 4v5. They do not have Kled ultimate yet, but any type of pick would mean the go button for C9.
Contract slows down Turtle, but no other pick there for Cloud9. Enough threat to force C9 to back in. At some point, they need to spend their gold. Sven again checks the Baron, and it seems like it's finally reset.
And both these teams are dancing around this so well. Remember, GA is now down for Ray, and he's going towards what looks like a bloodthirster here. He is all in on this damaging build and wants to be able to look for those picks.
Could also be about the split push. If he gets that type of lifesteal, they can actually get a little bit of control back in this game, and he could win the extended duels against Camille. But that's really not what this game has been about. It's been Ray time and time again charging in with Kled and starting these fights.
Yeah.
C9 in general, I mean, they have a 1-3-1 cut, but they're playing 4-1 for the most part. It's really TSM that are trying some sort of split push, but everyone knows one mistake in a team fight costs you, and these team fights have been that close for that reason.
And I think part of it is all the engage that's available, and Jensen really far up here. Is this the mistake for C9? He may be caught out. C9 need to push mid or go for the Baron or do something.
Jensen is just trying to buy time. He's pretty fast right here. Haunter goes. Can he get in range for the ultimatum?
Tagged by Sven, but Ray, can't make it over the...
Whoa.
They collapse, and they have the inside track on mid lane, but the minions have not been pushed.
Yeah, C9 looked like they were pushing mid lane, but they go to save Jensen instead of leaving him to solo run away, narrowly escaping that one. Does cost him the Kled ultimate.
Again, feels like the teams are really playing tightly knit together. Everyone just wants to make sure they are there. The instant a 5v5 could break out. No TPs available. Jensen's coming off cooldown in just a few seconds, but again, he really has just been sticking to the mid lane and making choices with his team. Haunter leaps in, tries for something, gets on a Ray. Gonna lock him down with the ultimatum, but the rest of TSM a little late. There's a bubble. Ray gonna get dismounted, but he's now invulnerable. Great stuff from Bjergsen. Lulu ultimate might keep him alive though. Calling. He's gonna chunk down Turtle. Now it's C9's turn.
Costs the GA. They actually look to continue.
Contracts, no! Taken out by Bjergsen, Jensen needs the ulti, and now Haunter back in onto Sneaky. Gonna lock him down, spinning there.
Sneaky
gets back in. Wild Turtle flashes forward, and Sneaky takes that first Garrett. C9 looking to turn around. Sneaky gets another kill, but now Haunter finally takes down the AD carry. Bjergsen dies to Lulu though. A shutdown there for Cloud9. 3 dead on TSM. Make it fall. Biofrost does go down.
C9 could go bot lane. They could get the inhibitor here if they rush for that. They're deciding to push mid for now, but Jensen with that Lich Bane can do major damage to the structures.
And this game has sneakily gotten to 40 minutes. C9 have a lot of time to try and push. Haunter is recalled for full health, but C9 want to make something happen.
C9, not enough confidence, not enough people left around to try and siege the turrets. Big wave bop, but Baron pressure once again on the table as TSM still off the respawn.
I have to question that. I mean, there's 40 seconds on Bjergsen. They're not even going to try to push the Kraken inhibitor. That seems like they're playing scared.
C9 now their largest lead of the game, but it didn't start that way. Bjergsen punished his contracts, blows through the Hex Drinker with his damage from his ultimate to get the kill, and then the fight kind of resets. And this is just pure mechanics from everyone in this fight because these fights are so fast with so many dashes.
And Turtle flashing forward into Jensen there, criticized so many times for these sorts of plays. C9 are on to Baron. It looks like it's there. Sven's not even close. It's going the way of C9.
It's going down pretty quick, but Sven's not even going to check the pit. C9 finally get the Baron that these teams have been fighting for.
And we've been talking about the importance of this split push that C9 has available to them with the 1-3-1, with that Baron up. Maybe they finally go to that.
Yeah, there's 4,500 gold. Full items on Jensen. This game has gotten very late game in this case, and Bloodthirster completed for Ray.
Yeah, that Bloodthirster completion plus the Baron buff, so much side lane power now for Ray, and contracts.
The Elder Drake is also up in 20 seconds, and I expect someone to play around that. What's interesting here is Jensen with the teleport up is actually the split push threat onto Haunter right now. He's so confident in this Echo right now that he's the one transitioning to that because if Kled initiates while the Echo TPs, that's actually the ideal flank for Cloud9.
TSM has established
Sneaky! No, Lulu, he saves him! Quick finger smoothie!
If C9 can heal back up with the Blade of the Rune King and then get a fight before Bjergsen's ultimate comes back up, it could be huge for them.
Yeah, it's a low cooldown with all the CDR he's built up with that Morellonomicon and Fiendish Codec, but TSM want to try and use this before he heals up. Sneaky ticking slowly up in health. He does have Blade of the Rune King. It would be really dangerous for TSM to start this Elder Drake, but they do.
Yeah, it is dangerous, but they will start it. Sneaky getting the pressure down mid lane. Contracts are available. He can seal it. This is 50-50.
TP in from Haunter. Here we go.
Here's Ray.
In as well. On to Sven. Scarron. Sven going to try and keep them out. Redemption down. Ray dives back. Give it Haunter.
They kill Jensen.
It's Jensen. Bjergsen gets the kill. And now Ray.
Sneaky untouched on the side.
Still trying to fight around, but he can't get into the fight. Smoothie. Far too low. Goes down. And they're going to take Elder Dragon as well. Disaster for Cloud9.
Jensen didn't get his Zonias off, didn't get his ultimate off. He goes down in the critical fight, and TSM are pushing in what could be...
But C9 are trying to get it back. They have Baron. They're getting an inhibitor of their own. TSM went for a home run, hit a double, but C9's countering.
And they're going to go back TSM. Oh no, they stay. At least a few do.
They're going to go for the win. They're going for the win here.
30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Sneaky can't get back to base.
Needs to stop Sneaky. Sven Scarron moving in as well. Contract, can they win this 2v2? No, Sneaky, he's too low.
That's it.
Contract's going to get stunned down as well. Sven going to keep chasing it down, and TSM just keep going. 15 seconds left.
TSM are going to end it.
It's an ace.
Way.
Here we go.
It's the game.
TSM fight tooth and nail to defend the North, but once again, NA LCS champions, Cloud9. What a...
And such a chaotic game ends in such a crazy fashion right there. One continuous fight all the way to the Nexus.
It's those tiny moments in these games that make or break the teams, that create these heroes. And Jensen in the final fight, not able to get his Zonias off, not able to get his ultimate out, and that ends up costing him.
And it just felt like that game was only fighting.
It was.
Yeah, and that's how it ends, right? Begins just in the same manner.
A little bit stunned. The near reverse sweep by Cloud9. TSM come in just at the very end, make some critical macro calls, going for that Elder Drake, and without the Cinder ult, posting the trophy.
So incredibly well-deserved here from TSM. The poise that they showed. Cloud9 battling back in Game 3, Game 4, pushing it to the final game and feeling like they had all the momentum in their favor, but TSM stands strong and are back-to-back champions.
Such a devastating way for Cloud9 to lose, but TSM showed just enough poise down the stretch. When Doublelift stepped down coming into the split, people said TSM would not be the same team. They said Wild Turtle couldn't fill his shoes, but they still coming on top of Cloud9 in the finals once again.
And they're going to MSI. They have locked in their spot in play-ins, and they have a chance at redemption internationally. What they have prayed for, that international success for so long.
And you can just see Haunter especially just kind of washing over the players. What an insane way to claim another championship. There's been a tradition in the NALCS of when you win once, you tend to win again. Cloud9 were inches away from breaking that tradition.
They're going to think about those final fights down the stretch again and again. Jensen not being able to ult back to safety in that final fight. Then the call to go for that middle inhibitor instead of trying to clean the minion waves away from that final push from TSM.
And the first two games that really were not even close for Cloud9. Whether it was nerves or poor preparation, they were not able to match up to TSM in those first two.
Well, with that, we do have an interview lined up. Let's go on stage with Rivington, who's there with the TSM top laner.
Thank you very much. I am joined by back-to-back first team All LCS top laner, Haunter. Haunter, an absolutely amazing series, one of the craziest we've probably seen on the stage in 5 games. How do you control the mentality after things flip so fast like that in a game as such?
You know, it was really hard because we won the first 2 games really decisively, and I felt like a lot of us became really impatient and wanted to end the game quickly, just to like secure the win. And because of that, we ended up losing the next 2 games. And to like bounce back, we pretty much just like had a huge talk where we need to reset our minds and like play from the underdog mindset. And I think that helped us really a lot and secure the victory.
Well, secure the victory you did. I saw you come up, the first one to hoist that trophy with a big smile on your face. You had quite the task this year. As Doublelift left, you had to become more of a voice. You even had to do more work in the top lane. How does it feel now knowing you've got that all NALCS top lane and now the NALCS Spring Trophy?
It feels really good because the split, I think I improved the most out of any split I've ever played, and it just feels great to win twice in a row.
Well, I'm sure the fans here behind you, they cheered all day. If you have anything to say, friends, family, go ahead.
Thank you all for supporting us, and we're going to win Summer too.
All right, thank you very much, Haunter. We will be back with a full interview from TSM. Right now, we're going to throw it up to the casters to break down some more.
The confidence of that man there. They're going to win Summer. The triple has never happened, but TSM now set up for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, such an incredible series, narrowly avoiding that reverse sweep. And just down the stretch, the highest pressure decisions being able to be made by TSM. And remember, Haunter and Bjergsen calling most of those things, but it's all chaos. Everyone has to make their decisions in those moments, and TSM narrowly came out ahead.
Yeah, they didn't. You know, with Cloud9 having such a powerful 1-3-1 composition, you have to wonder, should they have stuck more to that? Building fully forward with the Bloodthirster, you know, on your Kled and Lich Bane Echo in a side lane. It felt like perhaps had they played a more measured game down the stretch, they could have still pushed that game out.
And I think a lot of those things, experience, discipline, the macro game that TSM are known for, C9, we've seen, you know, them improve so much over the last few splits, but the little things are still TSM's favor, and I think that was all it really took to win this game, because there was not much else in it.
Yeah, it was just the smallest of decisions, like Haunter being able to get the right Hextech ultimatums in the right spots, Bjergsen always finding the right stuns, every little thing.
Well, let's have a look at how that game ended. We have a replay of the Elder Dragon game-ending fight. I mean, this game was insanely close all the way up until that point. So I'd be curious to see just exactly how that happened, because Jensen, like a mechanical mistake is so rare from a player like him.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to think he just got CC chained,
I think so.
right? And you have to be able to be ready to use that Zhonya's on in the moment's notice. So track Jensen on the top side of the fight into the bubble. He got bubbled there, it looked like, by Biofrost. Not able to Zhonya's as he sees that skill shot coming in. Very easy to lose track of that in the fight.
Yeah, and the rest of C9 just try and bail out towards the end of that one. And when Jensen goes down, the whole team loses that momentum. And from that point forward, it was a push mid to push bot. And TSM watch. Let's see this one more time.
Yep.
Yeah, it was that bubble. It did look like. So, I mean, Biofrost had some huge bubbles, and something like that, it's so hard to track in a team fight with the Hextech ultimatum and all these animations down on top of it. You know, Jensen, had he been able to all back out of that, or perhaps Zhonya's the bubble set himself up for a damaging ultimate, that could have changed it. But these little plays completely changed the game.
Well, we had a lot of great performances today, but we'd like to recognize one player who stood above the rest to earn the player of the series. Let it be known, this was insanely close, but we do give it to Haunter today.
Yeah, right between Haunter and Bjergsen, but if you look at the entirety of the series, Haunter really took over games 1 and 2. The Camille game he had up against Raze Kennen absolutely demolished him.
Yeah, he was just crushing everyone in game 1. Game 2, he was incredibly pivotal as well. Even in some of their losses, he was really big.
Nearly decided the series in that game 3 when he got that pick on a Sneaky, but they couldn't close it out in the end. Here's the stats from his 3 wins.
Actually pretty insane numbers, especially you could see TSM, how dominant they were in those first 2 games. Full credit to Cloud9 for making it go all the distance, but unfortunately for them, could not clutch it this time.
No, they definitely couldn't. And I mean, for TSM, although Haunter may be highlighted here, it really was a team effort. It was Svenskar and working so incredibly well with him, I think deserves so much attention, because that pair was so strong for me throughout this series, matching up, getting his top laner ahead, and putting him in positions where he could succeed.
Yeah, and no one at this level succeeds without their teammates. There were so many of those moments where, oh, Bjergsen got ahead in the mid lane because his bottom lane was able to ward, or because the top lane was able to come down and gank. Everyone had out from their teammates in this series.
Well, let's send it over to Riv for an interview with Cloud9 support.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am joined by Cloud9 Smoothie, first team all NA LCS support. Smoothie, as I was saying to Haunter, this is one of the craziest best of 5s we've probably seen on this stage with the intensity you guys played that last game. Kind of take me back to game 3 when you guys were able to find your footing. What was in Cloud9's mind to say, we can still do this?
I think the first 2 games we just weren't warmed up enough. Maybe we played a lot worse than we usually do and made a lot more individual mistakes, and we just lost 2 games off those.
And being a rookie coming in this split, how much has the team kind of helped you, bolstered you, and how have you grown as a player here?
I don't know about being a rookie, but I don't know, C9 helps me like a lot. This year has been like the best learning experience for me as a player. I think Reaper helps a lot. Everybody on the team really knows how to teach everyone else how to like play their role, and yeah, it's a really good environment for me.
Absolutely, and as you are in Canada, a pretty great environment for you all together. Do you have any things you would like to say to the fans here after your game?
Thank you so much. Just thank you so much for watching, and sorry we didn't make it this time. I failed twice in Canada, like to win the split, and it feels really bad, but Vancouver's been really nice to me, and just thank you, everybody.
Smoothie, thank you very much. Fantastic play on the day. We all love the Gragas. All right, now we're going to throw it over to Freak to get an interview with Team SoloMid.
Thank you very much, Rivington. I am here with your 2017 Spring Champions. It is TSM joining me on the analyst desk. Got them all in glory right here. Hansler, starting with you. You were player of the series. We've said it probably 70 times. All team top lane. Almost MVP. Are you salty about that anyway? And then redeeming yourself here, winning the final.
You know, I don't really. It kind of sucks I didn't get MVP, but I think Arrow did play pretty well, and like I'm glad for him that he got it. And in terms of like impacting the finals, it didn't really matter that much. Like I'd rather have first place in finals than MVP. So.
Yeah, so you did get first place in finals, so congratulations on an amazing game here. Svenskeren, it feels like you always get a playoff buff. That's been one of the stories with you. You've now become the first TSM jungler to win 2 championships. That's never happened in TSM history. That's a Reddit fact. Thank you, internet forums. I imagine that wasn't pressure for you, but coming in on the stage sort of to defend the title, especially as they start coming back in Game 5, what was that pressure like to still navigate those tight situations?
Yeah, so I guess I felt kind of pressured because I had a pretty bad split, so I kind of had to perform here in playoffs. Otherwise, yeah, the whole year would just be like kind of bad for me. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with my performance here in the last best of 5. But nah, I still had a lot of mistakes, and yeah, I guess I'm just happy for TSM organization that we won and the jungler 2 times win or whatever.
There you go. That's obviously more important than TSM win overall, but congratulations on that one. Bjergsen, now to you. TSM have won, I think it's now 5 championships in North America in 9 total splits. You've won more than half of them all overall. You're now kind of the marquee player of TSM. You've got 4 championships yourself. Reggie's won 1. You've got the other 4. Talk to me about this continued dominance for TSM, once again being on top, keeping the crown, another 2-time in a row champion. Just talk to me about TSM and just remaining excellent for basically ever.
I think a really big reason why TSM always does well, always gets to the final or wins, is largely because of Reginald. Because every time we struggle, every time we having trouble improving or not doing well, he steps in and he reinforces those rules and the mindset of how to look at the game, and it helps us improve so fast. That's why you see oftentimes when Reggie comes in, he doesn't have to be there every scrim every day. He just enforces a mindset, a way of thinking the game, and then that just skyrockets our improvement. So I think that's a really big reason.
Yeah, and of course you guys have improved. #1 in North America obviously sounds pretty great. Wild Turtle, now to you. The first few games you guys won lane so hard. You're up like 20, 30 CS, and then it felt like the bot lane came back and you had some rough games in Game 3 and 4. And then coming to Game 5, you've got to bounce back from this. And talk to me about how you kind of focused into this one. You got the Canadian crowd behind you, of course, you're Canadian yourself, and coming back where the reverse sweep is almost there.
It was definitely extremely nerve-wracking, like just losing 2 games in a row, like really hit my morale a lot, and I don't know if I was going to be able to perform the 5th game. I don't think I played extremely well the 5th game, I would say, but I'm glad I was able to rely on my teammates and able to come together and overcome this victory.
And you did overcome. Vincent, now to you. Biofrost, Vancouver native to my understanding. Yep. Hometown for you. Crowd going to cheer for that one, of course. And I am curious because one of the stories coming into this was that it seemed like you choked in high-pressure situations. Last finals didn't look as good for you individually. TSM, I don't want this to sound like a negative, but had a short run at the World Championship. You went up against Doublelift in the regular season, and suddenly you have a bad game there, and you're once again in the finals, and a lot of the pressure's on you. You had the game-winning bubble that caught off Jensen. Talk to me about working through now your 2nd split as a pro, I believe it is, and shutting off the nerves and making sure you're playing to your level.
I think there's a lot of criticism on whether or not I'm just getting carried or not.
Sure.
I always get those comments on whenever I play poorly in lane or stuff, but all that criticism does help me become better as a player. I always take it into account. I think about what I could do differently every game, and honestly, I'm just really happy to be here today in front of everyone here and to be able to win it all.
Did you hear the crowd is behind you? Some signs of your own face as well. There's a Who's Your Daddy sign if you missed it, by the way. That went up on camera, and it was obviously of your face. Parth, you've been leading the team for a while now as the coach. You're heading to Mid-Season Invitational. You're representing North America. You've got big shoes to fill. Sealed, you got 2nd last time around. How's TSM going to do heading into the biggest international tournament of the year?
Well, we're going to try to do better than last time, but that's not like the highest standard that we can set. I think it's all just about, we know that at our best, we can at least compete against a lot of the teams that we're going to be facing there, and I'm excited to meet up against G2, SKT that just qualified. It's going to give us a lot of experience going there, and we're just going to, I don't know, as cheesy as it sounds, we're just going to try our best, and hopefully we do you guys proud.
Absolutely. Reginald, goals for TSM. You have now won more than half of all North American championships. Part says at your best you can compete with these guys. How high are the goals for TSM as you continue to be this dominant team?
Oh, yeah, so it's really important for me to continually improve, right? And every single time we go to an international event, we always fall short of expectation, and that feels really bad. So we always go back to the drawing board and think about how we can improve. I really want MSI to be about improving as much as we can and then going into Worlds and actually showing a real performance. We've disappointed our fans for a really long time now, right? Because it's kind of all talk, because I talk about Worlds a lot, and we haven't really gone to semis, even the finals yet, for 4 or 5 years, and that's disappointing to me. And all my players, when we win the finals in NA, that's kind of like an expectation when you join TSM, right? The expectation is to go and dominate the finals, and we won the first 2 games really clean. The first 3 games were really messy. We have to just constantly look at that performance and improve on it, and go in MSI, try our best. And I do want to say that we're going to go to Worlds a lot stronger this year than last year, and I think that we're going to go really far at Worlds this year, for sure.
Absolutely. Of course, the crowd excited to hear you do well. This will be the last time we get to hear from you until we see you on stage at the Midseason Invitational. Would anyone like to share some final thoughts to share with their fans, to share with North America? Parting words before we see you at Brazil.
I love you, Bio Daddy. Thanks, Vancouver, for having us. It's been amazing being here, and I really love this place. So thank you.
The crowd thanks you as well, and we thank you for all of your time and all of your hard work in the North American LCS. We'll see you in Brazil. The Midseason Invitational. TSM, of course, will be representing North America in the biggest tournament of the year so far. And for more of our thoughts looking ahead into Brazil, join myself, Kobe, and Jat on NA LCS tonight after our broadcast. We'll see you there in 5 minutes. But on behalf of myself, TSM, all the players, all the casters, the entire broadcast crew as well, thank you so much, Vancouver. Thank you for watching, and we will see you at MSI.
The 2017 North American League Championship Series.
What is it with rookies in the jungle? He's going to go in for it. There's the exhaust down. Arcadian. Oh, again! He got it again! First blood. Arcadian, another first blood. Looking for number 5. Here comes the damage up, and he does! 5 solo kills for Contract.
This is insane.
Field support?
I don't know. It's not a mispick. Gates actually got the leap. He's maybe ready to go. Oh my god, he flipped it on! You are kidding me! That's first blood.
There you go. That's why you pick it.
They're going to go ahead and top down one of the turrets, and Bjerg's going to be there to stop it. Oh, the Exo wins the game! Thanks to Sunday at the base! That was perfect! What a play! GG for Team Dignitas!
A hop, skipping a jump right back. A triple kill for Immortal Jungler.
Immortal, beautiful.
Look at that delivery! Shut down!
Stixxay and Huhi completely in sync there, playing so well.
He's looking for more of the shockwave, and if he got one about, he's got more! It's on to Bjergsen! That was amazing high!
Arrow goes up the wall, full man mode, baby! Double kill! Can he make it a triple? Yes, he can! Arrow going off!
Maybe we'll see the Dark Medius versus the Light Sneaky.
From top to second at P1 comes up with the victory over Cloud9 in 2 games.
Seraph looking to turn it right back around, Uwe! Seraph! He doesn't have the damage! Seraph! What in the world? Envy turns this fight around, an ace from Jace!
There's going to be a little bit more at stake than just the result of the game. I believe you two have a bet also placed on this match.
And Hotshot GG is going to have a TSM logo on his face as TSM wins the match.
I can't see it. What the? No!
That is not that easy to pull off. That definitely.
Oh, wow! Deadly flourish! Sneaky volley!
Happy birthday to you. You're all muted.
Team Liquid, they made some changes, but I don't necessarily know if it's what people expected.
Piglet debuts mid lane in style.
12, 1, and 8.
Who's the better mid laner, Faker or you?
Doublelift is back.
I don't think I'm holding this spot for Doublelift. I'm really confident that I'm a better player. The biggest impact I can have is just smashing lane and trying to take over the game.
Bio Boston Turtle gonna be jumped on. See you later. What an upset! TSM will fall to Team Liquid.
We are Cloud9 in a way that we're also not Cloud9.
It's going to be a question of who's the better C9.
The slugfest from C9 and FlyQuest, but Cloud9 will stand tall and hold the #1 spot in the North American LCS.
To a lot of teams, it might not matter that much to them if they finish first or second in the regular season, but I want to be a dominant team.
Oh! They got it! That's a big kill!
There's pretty much no less than first place. Second place might as well be last.
And that's going to be a kill. TSM, they storm the throne room. Can they topple the Kings of the NA LCS? They will. And in Cloud9, their first loss of the spring.
People are going to be afraid of us, and I want them to be afraid of us.
We've got plenty of energy in the crowd today, kicking off the playoffs right as all of these teams are fighting for their road to the finals. Big shockwave! Ryu is honed in this game. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Phoenix 1 is going to Vancouver. I get the kill. Nexus open and FlyQuest. Reverse sweep, CLG.
What an upset and what a turnaround from FlyQuest.
A triple Contracts for the Contracts is an absolute beast.
Cloud9 will be looking for the finals in Vancouver.
It is TSM making it 9 unbroken finals trips in a row.
The dynasty continues for TSM.
Two of my favorite things, Canada and League of Legends, combined right now. It's going to be a good day.
Living artillery to the fountain. Will they be able to charge? They want the Penta. They gave it to him. Is it a third game Penta? Yes, it is.
The Vancouver native gets a Penta kill.
Scar. Oh, what a play at the last second. And 6 stays alive.
The King of
Glad. From the ashes, fighting hard and bringing it to a game 5. He1 will lock in third place in the 2017 NA LCS Spring Split. We now have 2 teams that stood tall above the rest of the competition, but only one can be crowned champion. This is the NA LCS Spring Final. Because he got everything.
He got the goal. Keep sweeping in. Oh, he gets the kill. Now dominating. Completely bioful. Destroyed by Jensen. There's the ace for Cloud9.
The clean ace for Cloud9. And we are going to a game 5, baby.
Down Ray. Dies by giving Horta. Delays Jensen. Pierce gets the kill. And now Ray slammed up as well. Disaster for Cloud9. TSM fight tooth and nail to defend the North. But once again, our NA LCS champions